In a nutshell, there are two ways of experiencing life. You can experience it on the level of choices. This is an apple, this is bacon, this is yeast that growing, you can do anything in the world. Or you can, mamish, have connected to life beyond all the boundaries. And you know what it is? Himlech Eisvor Behira. There is, by choice, or deeper than choice, I can connect my hira, my deepest thinking, to the deepest depths of life. You know, I can walk around deep thinking the whole time about money. I can walk around thinking inside the whole time about Paris. Or I can mamish connect the inside of me, my hira, the deepest inside thought, to how beautiful life is, how beautiful people are. You know something, I can walk around, the whole world is glowing, and I walk around angry. Everything is bad. I don't like the trees, I don't like the flowers, I don't like the streets, I don't like the people. I can walk around, mama, shining in the deepest way. I want you to know, if you do something which absolutely takes the deepest steps out of you, when you're doing it, your mama shining. I want you to know the first three men that were shining was Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Gewalt was it hard for them. You know, Gewalt was it hard for Rome to break away from paganism. One in the world. What's going on? Shy would ask. Okay, fast. Okay, you going? Is it your friends over? Then we'll see you again tomorrow morning at 6. Okay, thank you so much for coming. What's happening? Is it you or is it your ghost? How are you? You look so beautiful, darling. So glad to see you. 100 years. No wonder everybody was so sad. Okay, here, friends. I just really want you to have the deepest way. Who was the first woman who did something and it took everything out of her? Mamish, everything out of it. When the Ahorim of the Rochen gave over the Simonim to Leah, right? Gewalt, can you imagine how much she was shining the next day? I want you to know, friends, the choice is, do you want to walk around your whole life is not glowing? You want to walk around being angry at the world all the time, saying Lashon Hara on everyone, and on God and everything. Oh, mamish, you listen to your kidneys. And you know when you need your kidneys? I don't need my kidneys to eat apples, right? When it comes to dairy, when to do something very gewalt, you need a lot of guts to do it. You need, mamish, my kidneys, my right kidney to give me strength. I want you to know something. You know, again here, the deepest question in the world, what are you connected to? And here, I want you to know, it's so deep, You know, everybody has something which is beyond my choice. Is it connected to God's? Is my hay connected to God's hay? Or is it disconnected? So remember, Iyar is Yud K, and then hay word. That means my hay, which is actually my actions in this world. You know, wool, it's what's shining into me, and hay is the way I'm expanding it. But you know what I'm doing? I'm expanding it before I have even choice. Because I'm so connected to it. I'll tell you as an example. I have a good friend, right? I tell this person, can you give me $1,000? Can you give me $10,000? Each time, by choice, they're giving it to me. If my children ask me something, it's even before I give it to them, I have no choice. Sure, I give it to them. You know, if my whole being is connected to something else. You know, I have to tell you the truth, I watched a movie. It was unbelievable. It was one of the Charlie Chaplin movies. And it was half and half. On one half, you saw the priest talking. On the other half, you saw what he was really thinking about. It was just 10 minutes, but it was so funny. You know, he was reading the Bible, talking about God, and he was thinking the whole time, tonight I'm going to have some steak and some bacon and some wine. And see, the whole time. You know, friends, the deepest question is, before we stand on Mount Sinai, not what you're doing. What are you thinking about? What are you thinking about while you're thinking? Where is the deepest depths? To what is the deepest depths of you connected? And the deepest depths also, not only your soul, your whole being. Your whole being. You know what the manna did when we ate manna? You know what it did to us? Not only it cured our body, it connected every cell of my body to the deepest depth. Because the Torah is not only given to my head, the Torah is given to my entire being. Now listen to this deepest depth. Yisrocha is actually born by there, but it is because of the bracha of God. And here I want you to something so deep. Maybe when you daven, it doesn't have to be very. Sometimes good you daven very. The bracha, you know, unless you give it on the level of very, it's a waste of time. Blessing, where do we go to the tzaddikim to bless it? Because for them everything is very, you know, maybe we daven very on Yom Kippur. The Amshinover, when you say Shahakuni with boy, remember? So you think he's dying, right? Very. Well, you know, I had the privilege when the old Satmar when he came to America. So, I had the privilege of being there in the morning sometimes when he's davened. How do we say the brachas in the morning? Sweet, right? It was awesome. Amish awesome. Not to be believed. I want you to know something. The sun has a lot of light. And here comes the deepest depth. The moon only picks up that very of the sun. Very. There is a great light in the world, which doesn't show you where the apples are, because the moon doesn't show you anything. It's still dark. You know what the moon does to you? Very, so deep. At night, I'm only connected to the people I love very much. Remember learning it? During the day, I can bear just sitting with somebody I can't stand. The less it gets at night, the less I can stand, right? You know what the Gemara says? The night is only for learning. You know what it means? The people who are not very much into learning, they go to sleep. And the people who are very much, you know how special the nights are. My mother says, real wisdom you can only learn at night, while others are sleeping, and you're learning. Why am I up? Why am I not sleeping? Because I want so much, very much. So you hear, friends, this is the deeper steps. On Pesach, God connected me to this deeper than choice. You know the way I'm expanding it? The way I'm expanding it, I'm putting the very into my choice. I'm expanding the hay into my vote. You know, friends, I can spend my whole life like it's Wednesday. I can spend my whole life like it's Simchas Torah and Yom Kippur. I want you to know, it says in Zerkul in Avraham Avinu, every day was Pesach, Shavuos, Sukkot, Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, Chanukah, and Purim. How much every day? How much every day? I want you to know something, friends. The difference between a slave and a free person is the slave is working for somebody else. I want you to know, if you live your whole life, but it doesn't touch your inside, you're also working for somebody else. You're not, where's your real, the inside of you? Where's the inside of the inside of you? So Pesach begins, Mamish, I'm doing something for the inside of the inside of me. What's the first thing I'm doing? I'm connecting my hira, my inside God, the inside of the inside, to the highest place in the world. Okay, friends, first thing I want to Mamish Benen, yeah.
We have started a morning minyan, so we're now davening in the morning. So we're having a little breakfast. It's very involved. It's very sweet. The davening is very holy to its path. Okay, the holiness.
Before I say anything else, I want you to know, you have no idea how much I missed everyone the second day of the Pesach. I tell you something, without saying anything bad, you know, it's not if everybody knows it. I'm coming to Aruba, and I thought, Gewalt, Shvishal Pesach night, Gewalt, tonight we'll have Mamish. You know, there was a store by Rebbe by the Holy Sanzu, Shvishal Pesach night. It was so clear to them, they're crossing the Red Sea, that when people danced, they were holding off their kapote because the Mamish thought they were walking through the water. It was so... They were holding on their kapotes. They thought, this, I don't want to make it wet from the sea, right? They had a lecture on nutrition. I have nothing against nutrition. You know, After Marv, I said, what's happening tonight? I was ready for the highest revelation. I said, tonight we have this lecture on nutrition. So he must have seen from the inside of my outside face. He says, no, this is only, after that you can have a little brain. So after that, I walk in there, there were 7 people snoring, because they snored already from the nutrition. and now it's time to go through the Red Sea, So I said, friends, you're tired. Keep your good story. The second night was a Gewalt, was a big talk about heart transplant. Because is there a better time to talk about the last day of Pesach, You need to transplant back from Matzah to Chometz, right? And after that, there were 7 people left. And so I thought to myself, Gewalt. You know what it is? And we start singing, they're mamish all religious people. It was all glad kosher. And there are people who die 1,000,000 times. God forbid that Pesach thing shouldn't be 100%. What's the word crossing the Red Sea? What's about the last day of Pesach? The last day of Pesach? Awesome. Anyway, I want you to know, friends, I missed you all the most. So you hear, friends, Sfira So'aima is, and here I want you to know something. This is mamish, so absolutely. When we cross the Red Sea, it says, "Vayoshev hayomna esonai," and the ocean went back, the esonai to its old strength. It means it was water again, flowing. Because if you remember, the way we walked through the Red Sea were tunnels. We didn't walk on top of the water. There were tunnels. Remember? There were 12 tunnels, because it was the mikveh for all the Yidden. One night, all of Israel went to the mikveh. Awesome. And the water was like glass. You could see each other. One tribe could wave to the other. Give out, and we went through the water, and then when the water became water again. That's the ordinary translation. The Gemara says that it's sonai, it's noise. It went back to its original, had a little covenant with God, because when God created the ocean, God said to the ocean, if you don't split open on the 7th day, you'll stop being an ocean. I will return you into nothing. Meaning to say, when God created the world, it was already conditioned that at that very moment, the ocean has to make place for Eden to walk through. So then the deepest question is, when did the ocean fulfill this condition? When it split open, not when it returned back. And the Torah said, and the ocean went back to its original condition. This is not when it went back. And in a nutshell. As I begin saying, a lot of us have very higher about experience. The next day we go back to the way we were before. The worst thing in the world. You know what the Torah says? The ocean, even after it went back, it never went back. Yes, when you look at the ocean, you think it's just water. The ocean is splitting open every second. Wow. This is God. Do you know what happened? Why did the ocean turn over for the Eden? You know what the Zohar says? Because the ocean looked at the heathen, and the ocean saw those heathen, the vow that they turn over for God. The vow for God, they are ready to change every split second. Every split second. And here I have to add something very special, which I mentioned to some of you a lot of times, but maybe it's said enough in the world. The ger, the convert is called ger. The convert, you know what the convert means? First of all, the chair, and now it's a table, right? I convert a house for it, or a hut in a house. I think I shared it with you. You know what the ger really means? Convert means I took something which wasn't there and changed it. Stupid. You know what the word ger means? Ger means to drag behind God. What are we Jews all about? Yeah, dragging behind God. You know, by Yitzchak it says, it says, Vayeshev Yitzchak B'Grov. Yitzchak lived in the city of Grov. And everybody knows, as the Torah tells it to us, was it very important if you lived in Manhattan or in the Bronx, right? What the Torah, every letter. The Zohar says Grov, comes from the word Grov. If you ask Yitzchak, where do you live? What's the address? I don't know. I'm stepping behind God. Dragging behind God. It's an unbelievable difference in translation. You know, that means when a person decides, you know what that means? I'm mamish and ready to give everything up to God. I need to drag behind. So the ocean saw that those people are unbelievable people. They're ready to do anything for God. So the ocean says, if they do everything for God, I want to do everything for God. I want you to know something clear in all this form. Nature is absolutely ready to do what you're doing. Someone can say, you know, nature is against me. Nature is not against you. Nature is very, very sensitive. Nature is the holiest thing in the world. It's about, right? What's nature all about? Basically, nature is the most... Why is it when a person feels slow and bad and disgusted and angry, take a walk in the forest? Because basically nature is untouched by the tree of life, of knowledge. Nature is nature, right? The way it is, the way God created it. It's only us human beings who are a little bit perverted. And we said enough, if the world is perverted, it's because of us. You know that before Cain killed Abel, there was not one animal who would touch another animal. It's an unbelievable message. When the animals saw that one brother kills the other, they said that one human being can kill another human being, why shouldn't we kill each other? And you know the animals said to God, at least a lion doesn't kill another lion. The tiger doesn't kill a tiger. It kills somebody else. And they said before God, as low as a human being will never be. Because one human being kills another human being. He only kills somebody who's not the same way. It's an awesome method, cutting right through all of civilization. Awesome. But it is like, we affect nature. So the first time he affected nature, he resurrected. And here comes Chodesh State, after we resurrected. Every tree says God. If the heathen have the power that the inside should shine into the outside, I want to do the same thing. I'm an apple tree. I don't want to sit there, look like I'm worn out and dead. I want to shine. And here, I want you to know something awesome. Blessing everyone. Iyar is the initials of the word Ani Hashem Rafa. I'm the God who heals. What is a sick person? A sick person is somebody who's outside, not connected. God forbid you mention somebody's foot is not connected to the inside, right? The foot is hanging there, you can move your foot. About. So Iyar is the month of the deepest healing in the world. Because Iyar is the month that everything inside is shining into the outside. So now listen to this. This is Amshinover. Who are the first people getting hold of them? Do you believe me? I'm talking to you so long. Everybody's asking me where you are, getting letters from the four corners of the world. Can you give one of them? Give Normie someone your number, yes? Of course, yes. And we thank you for coming. You hear, friends, who were the first 3 people in the world who connected the world, the outside to the inside? Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, right? So Iyar is Rosh Tevis, Aleph, Yud, Yud. It's Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And then the Resh is our mother Roch. It's awesome. Iyar is the initials, Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Roch. Because these are the 4 people, like nobody in the world, who was shining the inside to the outside. Okay, now listen to me. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Avraham, what did Avraham do? Das läuft schon, ja? So wird man das hier? Manchmal. Ja? Gewalt. See me again now. Your Holy Father. His father has the best bakery in Denmark. And the last time I was there, Thursday night, Mamish went to the car to his father, and Mamish gave us so much cake. Not for one Moshav, for all the Moshavim in Israel. And Mamish Gewalt. They said to me, one thing, you better call my son. So I'm going back Monday, and I realized Gewalt, I didn't call his son. He didn't tell me, give me back all the cake I gave you. So, מה אתה רוצה שאני אגיד לו? אתה חייב קיים.
חייב קיים, משתדל לעשות רצונו.
אתה מוכרח לרוץ כבר, כן?
כן.
אין לך כוח.
בואו.
אתה מבין להגדיל או לא? אתה יכול חצי, אבל גם. יובל, כל מה שיבור כאן בבוא את זה. אוקיי, תצא לי, אני אהיה כאן את יום שני בלילה. תצא לי עוד פעם. איך קוראים לשני? איך קוראים לך?
סלמן.
Heilig Rabbi Kalman, ja? Rebbe. Heute Rebbe, ja. Thank you, I want to make it fast because I'm saying the whole Torah and I'm not pleased with grandmother. So let me get to it. You hear, friends, Avraham was shining. You know how much love we have inside? And we never showed outside. You know, there is something in the world which stops us from showing. You know what happens to people who show so much their inside? They send them right straight to Charlotte, right? It's not normal. You're overdoing it. Well, what's going on there? Avraham Mamish had so much love for the world, he was showing it. Yitzchak had so much love for God, he's ready to die for God. Mamish did it. Yaakov Avinu, what was Yaakov Avinu's biggest thing? Yaakov Avinu wants to build Mamish, God's kingdom with children. He Mamish had 12 children who are sitting there. But basically, it all centers around God. Little people in God. Rochel is something else. You know, the most heartbreaking thing in the world is that Cain and Abel didn't make it. Everybody knows the deepest fixed thing in the world was when Rochel gave everything up for his sister. Can you imagine how much it took out of her to shine inside? Because a lot of people say, you know, I love you, but I'm not going to give up my life for you. You know what I mean to tell you? I cannot shine my inside into your eyes. Just look at me. And here, I want you to open your eyes and deep strength. Make it fast. This month is the month of Yisroel. And it's the fixing of the right kidney. Unbelievable. And again, Al, don't stop because I'm not a doctor, so I might be off. But see the stuff. The left kidney and the right kidney. You know, says in Kabbalah, see this. What are the kidneys all about? You know, a lot of times I have good ideas, and I'm not doing anything about it because my kidneys are not strong. The kidneys are the ones to give me to do it, right? My God, Mamish do it, right? The right kidney is the one who gives me the strength really to do it. The left kidney is the one who gives me the strength not to do it. So you should all be blessed. Moshe, Moshe, well, God should give you koske. I told you the story about the koske month. So this fixing this month is the fixing of the right kidney. You know what that means? Why isn't your inside charged to the outside? What are you holding back? Your kidneys are not working. Right? So this month is the fixing of the right kidney. Now listen to this. This is Mamish Sadi. Listen to this. Rachel gave over the secret to Leah, right? So Leah is married to Yaakov. Then one day, Reuben finds certain herbs. It's a whole long story. There's a lot of medical talk which I don't know about, but herbs. He finds herbs which Mamish help you to have children. So Rachel says to Leah, give me a little bit. So Leah says, Yaakov Avinu was Mamish living with Rachel all the time. From time to time he would visit Leah. But basically his tent, he was living in the tent of Rachel. So Leah said to Rachel, it's true, I have more children than you, but you have Yaakov. So I said, you have Yaakov, I don't have Yaakov. So Rachel says to Leah, okay, if you give me those herbs, I'm giving him up for one. And I want you to know, this is, without saying anything bad, all the movie people in Hollywood don't even have this kind of depth. To know what love is all about, to have this kind, what the Medrash and the Zerkor is put into this one night. To this one night. And out of this one night came Yisrael. And this month is the month of Yisrael. This is how awesome this is. It is actually the month of Rocha because Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov Rocha. But the 12 months are divided by the 12 tribes, and this month belongs to Yisrael. What's Yisrael? It says Yodei Bino Le'itim. And here's what I want you to open your heart. The deepest, absolutely deepest intuition in the world. Yisrael has the deepest intuition. Deepest. You know what that means? On the deepest level. Rachel, can you imagine Rachel Mamish followed her inside of the inside of the inside, and she gave over the secret to Leah. And here, Leah has this herb to have children. So she says, I'll give it to you, give me something back. So she gave her back Yaakov for one night, and that night was Yisrof. What's Yisrof all about? You know what intuition is? Intuition is the gut. To listen to the inside of the inside. We all have it. Remember we're learning, everybody, you think Isaiah and Jeremiah were prophets and we are garbage collectors? We are the same people. Remember, Rav Nachman says, we always think Avraham Avinu was a different person than I. Avraham Avinu woke up in the morning, he washed his face. Avraham Avinu went to the bathroom. Our Holy Mother Sarah went to the bathroom. They're living human beings like all of us, right? But Givar that they have guts. Givar that they have kidneys, right? The Mamish did. Keep going on. Thanks, man. You know how deep this is? I want you to know that Yisachar was always the head of the holy cause in Yerushalayim. You know what to judge a person? Listen to me. A person comes to me and there are two witnesses that say this person is the biggest thief in the world. So if I listen to the outside, I say this is the biggest criminal in the world. If I listen to my intuition, I say, listen, brother witnesses, you might have good eyes, but I have some intuition. Some deepest inside. I know something you'll never know. And you know that deciding which day should be Rosh Chodesh is getting around the depths was up to Yisroel. Yisroel was that he knew exactly when the new months begin. You know what it is? What is the moon? Why do we count after the moon? We should celebrate Rosh Chodesh when the moon is full. You know, our new month begins when the moon is just one little ray of light shining, and the way it's jumping, it's a new month. It's a new moon. We should say new moon when the moon is full, right? When is for us the moon full? When is for us a new moon? One ray of light. One ray of light. You know, the question is when you see one ray of light in another human being, what do you do? Now, do you listen? And the master of this kind of depth was Yisroel. And you know when he got it? See, Leah gave Rachel herbs to have Yosef, and Rachel gave her back. So here this month is mamish everything. On one hand, it's Sfiras Ha'omer, the month of glowing, that mamish the inside is shining to the outside. And mamish, you know, after Pesach, the God fixes my inside so much. I shouldn't wake up the next morning and be the same. Mamish, working yourself for 49 days until your outside is completely filled with what you have inside. On the other hand, it's mamish Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. Mamish was shining into the world. It's the month of healing everything. You know what's between people? What's the deepest healing? The deepest healing is in their daily life, their inside shining into the outside. Why God forbid, God bless you. What is dying all about? That suddenly my outside is disconnected from my inside. My body is disconnected from my soul, right? You know, Elijah the prophet lives forever. You know why? Because Elijah the prophet is the one man who mamish has it mamish completely under control. The inside and the outside together. Why is he making peace between parents and children? Because you know what with parents is? When they're bad to their children, their outside is not connected to their inside. Let me tell you a sad story. One of the kids in San Francisco, it's a long story, I'm giving you this one part, ran away from home. His father is president of a big temple. His mother is president of Hadassah. Very outstanding people. They'll give $10 million for Israel, but they're not taking care of their own children. The boy is 15 years old. He's running away from home. So what's the father doing? Call the police, which I understand. In the meantime, the boy, who was talking to me all the time, came to my house, to the house we live in prayer, and he stayed in my room. I said, listen, brother, forget it, I'll take care. That night was a big wedding. Not my wedding on the house we live in prayer, but like this great wedding in this big Reform temple. And the father of this boy was bragging, telling everyone that his son ran off from home. He called the police and going to knock his head in. I said to him, listen, brother, when your child is sick, are you calling the police or are you calling your dad? I said, you know something? Your relationship to your son is sick. You don't call the police, you call me, you call the doctor. He says, I'll tell you, I'll make a deal with you. I know where your son is. He's under my wing, and I forbid you to come to the house until I give you the okay. Okay. Okay, I tell the boy, they're still your parents, I love you. Maybe on the outside they don't show it. I worked with them for 2 weeks, I called up the mother, and I said, do me one favor. When you come, after 2 weeks, the boy needed a little rest from his parents. I said, when you come, please, just tell him you love him. So something, why did you run away? How could you do this? We had to call the police. Forget it. And the boy said, I really don't want to see my parents, they're going on my nerves. Anyway, and 1 hour before they came, I called him and said, please, I'm begging you. This boy is shivering and said, be good to him. Listen to this. The mother walks in. And she says, couldn't you take a haircut before we come? The father says, you need a shoe shine. And then he didn't say one good word, don't hug him, don't kiss him. And then let loose, how could you run away? I tell you what, I'm not really in the custom of throwing out people from my room. This time I did. I grabbed the mother with her long hearing, just from beauty parlor. I grabbed her by her ear and his ear. I said, friend, if you want to kill your son, I'm in my room. Get out of here. What's their problem, man? You think inside they don't love their son? They do. But you're out there so disconnected. But then the outside, their son, because he's a rich man, his son has to have a haircut or a shoe shine. Who gives a damn what a shoe shine? You know what Iyar is all about? Iyar is the one who's shining into the parents. Stop disconnecting the outside from the inside. You know why is Eliza the prophet in charge of husband and wife, Shalom Bayit? You know why a lot of people, I don't want to say anything bad, but a lot of people, what's their problem, men or women, what's their problem? Their outside does not shine. The inside doesn't shine to the outside. So here comes Yisroch. Listen to this. Yisroch Yodeh bin Lev. If you know something else between people, you have to know exactly. It's not enough that my inside is shining into the outside. Right? Imagine, I love this girl very much. In my outside is shining, my inside to my outside, I love her. But you have to know when you talk, when you tell her. Even between parents and children. I don't fall about me, don't ever use there. The moments when it's time to give, maybe it's not to give. The moment. You know, God didn't take us to Mount Sinai. He said, oh, let's take them to Mount Sinai. God knew exactly when Mount Sinai. God knew exactly when it's time for Pesach, when it's for Shavuot, when it's time for Shabbos. And this he saw. And listen to this in a nutshell. Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Rochel. The months are feeling. The months are fixing the right kidney. The right kidney is so important. Not only what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. I need you to talk all the time for my kidneys, right? Because my kidneys, then okay, now it's the time, right? Do it now. And then it's Yisroch. And Yisroch is the gift which Rochel gave to me. Leah gave to me. And you know what the deepest depth is? So, Leah gave Rochel children, but Leah gave her back. Not only that the image of Rochel, how her inside was shedding into the outside, but there's something even deeper than outside, instead being connected. You know the exact time. Why is Leah the master of the time? There is nothing in the world more earth-shaking than to know exactly the time of Mashiach is coming. Give up. Give wow, that's awesome. Nobody knows Amshinover. And this is what Leah is all about. But I want you to know, this month, in order for us to be MSCU, you have to have a little Mashiach there. In your own private life. You have to know exactly what God is. And now I want you to know something. First of all, Mamish Louise, I want you to know, I'm sure you know that, beyond knowing how much your grandmother's paid. Listen, anybody in the world that has a granddaughter like Louise, well done. This is only in this world, but imagine in heaven, right? And everything was completely different. You know, in heaven, they don't have microscopes. I don't know how they have a microscope, how big that is. But the microscope in heaven, you know? You think this person is good in heaven? Wow. You think this person is beautiful in heaven? And Dovitul, you'll never know how much billion mothers brother. So first of all, I'd like to welcome you. That you're out and the show. And you told me before what we were talking before. You know, from the inside the show and the outside something so long. God bless you, God show them all the good. See, on Pesach, when God is jumping over the gate, we don't need gates anymore. You know? Just everything is going straight. And then you do something else. By the world, to be in touch with people who are on the other side of life. It's strange, right? Because their own inside and outside is not connected. How much more not to be connected? Someone is in heaven or somewhere else, right? But if your mom is connected, why can't I be connected to somebody else? And you know, the Gemara says, how far? Heaven from this one. It's less than between one and it's less than between one and someone says to you, okay, your grandmother is living in another world. How far? Less than one. You have no idea how the people who leave this world are closer. Awesome. And you know what says in Sweden? On the country, when people are alive, you're never that close because you're living in a finite world. I'm here, you're there. I remember one time, everybody should have the privilege of living with their wives forever. Said enough, you know, the little Bella never said the word. I was saying, husband. I'd say to Dovitul, to Dovitul, until now, when people ask you where Ilana is, sometimes you would say, I know where she is. Sometimes you would say, I don't know where she is. From now on, Saturday night, you always know where she is. She is Mamash in paradise. So, you know, maybe there were times when you don't exactly what you don't want to do it. But at least from now on, there's one cancellation. And the second biggest consolation is she is never so close. And we all bless you that whatever your grandmother is blessing you tonight should be. Okay, I want to sing a little song and then I know that you and the little one say some holy words. Some holy words. Shay, you missed the deepest stuff. Ich bin still here. I'm still crying. Okay, I have to tell you later. Without purpose, no? Okay, friends, just a few more minutes. Sing a good song. I know that East wants all of us to the Khan later in a few minutes.